Hello, everybody, and welcome to a kind of a special video, you might say. This is a video, basically, we're going to make the ashes for Ash Wednesday. Now, usually I do this with our confirmation kids. However, boy, things just did not work out weather-wise this year. And so we're going to make them here this fine day. And I'm going to kind of take you through a step-by-step process. I am wearing a device to hold my camera. I'm going to try not to move too much, but unfortunately, as a human being, I just kind of naturally move. I'm going to try to maybe splice this video up a little bit to get rid of some of that movement. But without further ado, I guess let's get moving. So the first things first, I'm going to take these leaves off. Now, I already have some. You'll see in the bowl. And I got a bowl wrapped in tinfoil. That's just because I want to kind of protect it. I'm going to put some flame in it, and I don't want to scorch my bowl. Not that it matters too much. This is actually a bowl I use in my smoker that I've actually cleaned up pretty good. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get these leaves off. Now, the reason I'm going to do this is because these stems, this center stem here, it just does not burn upright for ashes, and it gets real gritty, and it's not very good. So I usually rip the leaves off. Now, what a lot of people do is they will actually, when the palm branches are still kind of damp, they're still not dried out yet, they will twine the branches and braid them, kind of as a sign of the Holy Trinity. And so that's one of the things that they do, and they can do that with your children. To remember the Holy Trinity. So here you have it. There's a bowl of them. There's about 2 or 3 branches in there. Now, part of this year is the COVID year, and so, well, we just didn't have a lot of palm branches to choose from because we had to cancel our services. Well, I shouldn't say cancel. We just live streamed our Palm Sunday last year, and so we didn't have a whole lot of palm branches. But we had some extra. But usually we use the branches from the previous years, kind of showing that connection, right? That connection with Jesus Christ, triumphal entry into Jerusalem as he heads towards the cross. So Jesus' cross and our own mortality. Remember Romans 6, that in our baptism, his death becomes our death. And so we're reminded of our own mortality, but we do that by remembering the very cross of Christ. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to take these outside. Now it's very cold, so you can see I'm wearing a coat. I'm going to take these outside, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to burn them. Now, usually we do this at night, and so it's a lot better viewing-wise. Right now we're in the sunny weather, and it's about 1 degree, I think. So bear with me here. Moving outside here. As you can see, it's very snowy here. Very, very snowy. So I will put those down here. I'll try to hold the camera still. It's a little windy, but not too bad. Again, maybe a little bit more impressive at night, but even so. So there we go. They're all burnt up. And I'm going to stop this video at this point. I'm going to let these cool down, and hopefully some of the smell dissipate. They do kind of have a smell, and it will fill up a church if you don't allow it to dissipate. So I'm going to allow that smell to dissipate a little bit, and then I will start this video back up as I go through making the ashes. So we'll see you in a bit. All right, everybody, we are back. The ashes have... Well, they've cooled off, and they've dissipated in terms of some of the odor and the fumes and whatnot, and so they're all cooled down and everything else. And so now we're about ready to make some ashes. So here we are, ready to go. We're about to get moving. But a couple of things before we begin. First of all, notice that I've moved this to a very much a wipeable counter. This is actually very important. You will know in a while the ashes are... well, they are crazy dark, and they can get everywhere if you're not careful. Take that from somebody who knows, somebody who's done this a few times before, and unfortunately suffered the consequences. Also, I have a bowl ready right over there to put them in. I have a sifter. That's what that is right there, is a sifter. And you'll also notice that I have some olive oil right there, some vegetable oil. I'm sorry, not vegetable oil. And we're going to mix the ashes with that here in a little bit. That will help for when we get them ready for doing actual, ashes on Ash Wednesday. In our case, this is a Tuesday, so we're making these ashes for tomorrow, which will be February 17th, 2021, and that'll be Ash Wednesday. And we're gonna make them. We're gonna make them pretty much the same as we always do. I think, if I remember correctly, we're gonna be placing them on using Q-tips. So it'll be a little bit of difference, and part of that again comes down to COVID. But we're still gonna have Ash Wednesday, and we're still gonna remember, be reminded of our own mortality as we face the cross, and are reminded yet again of the consequence of our sin, and the fact that Jesus Christ died for us upon the cross. So let us get going. So here are the ashes. Let me see if I can tilt my camera down here. So here are the ashes. And first thing we're going to do is we're just going to use our hands. Now you can use a glove for this, of course. You can use a glove for any of it. But really, more than anything, I just use my hands. It does take a little bit. Once this stuff gets in your hands, it's kind of just there. And it is a bit of a pain for sure. But we're going to make about as much, we're going to crumble this up about as much as we can. And you can already see it's kind of a dark powder already. It's kind of actually hard to see the ridges and the edges even with the tinfoil, but you kind of get it. And then what we're going to do, now we don't actually have to do this very much. And again, part of that is because we just don't have that many leaves this year. But I'm going to put it in the sifter. Put it in the sifter, and usually there's some stuff in there, not a lot, but some gets left behind. And I'll do this a few times here. Again, whenever I have a lot of ashes, this actually is fairly time consuming. We actually do this, I actually end up doing this several times. This sifter, by the way, is not one I use in my home. This is specifically for this purpose and this purpose only. You will, if you kind of look in there, you can actually kind of see some of the stems and leaves. Some of that might be from this year, but to be honest with you, some of it's from years gone by, and that is why I only use it for this purpose. I guess I could use a traditional sifter or just a hand one, but I do it like this for now. This is kind of my sifter. So keep going here. And once all that is done, you're going to notice actually there's not a whole lot of ashes left. See, this is why you got to keep doing it. Look at that, I found more stems. Here, I thought I was almost done, and found more stems. And once you're done, of course, you can empty that in the garbage. And you should be left with a little bit of ashes. Now, you're still going to have some stems in there, unfortunately. You can't get them all out. You can try your best, but you're never going to quite get all of them. But you'll have a little bit of ash there. You can go ahead and transfer that over. All right, now here we are with just a little bit in there. Now again, we're gonna have to have some extra ashes this year. That is unique. Usually I have plenty of ash for Ash Wednesday just by burning the palm branches. But again, we only had a couple of branches this year. So this time around, we're gonna unfortunately need more ash. But I'll show you how to mix it. And what we're going to do is we're going to use a little bit of vegetable oil. Now you can even do this with a dropper. I like to just dump just a little bit in. just a little bit in. I'll kind of mesh it around here. You don't want to pour too much in. If you pour too much in, it's just going to become liquid black, which is actually no good. If you try to use liquid black, it will run. It will run. So that's about what we want, a kind of a paste consistency. Yeah, kind of a paste consistency. Now again, we don't have near the ashes that we're going to need this year, and we have purchased some extra just for that. But that being said, usually to be honest with you, usually I can make two of these bowls about, I don't want to say half full, but I could probably put about a 1/4 inch on the bottom of both of these bowls. So I usually get quite a bit of ash, and this year is just going to be exceptional. Now look. This stuff is all over my hands, and it's going to take a little bit to clean out. Trust me, I'm going to be using a brush here, but you can kind of see what it looks like. It's just a dark black, and that's kind of what we want for Ash Wednesday. Again, that's kind of what we're at and where we're after. And now we've officially done it. We've made ashes for Ash Wednesday. So that's going to mark the end of this video.